If your machine keeps telling you to check your bobbin and you've changed your bobbin and checked everything and it's still giving you that message, or it's running a little hard, like I've been noticing tonight that my machine, it kind of just sounds funny. So what you probably need to do, and this is also something you should do once a month for regular maintenance, I just haven't done it in a while. But anyway, there's 2 screws here that hold this plate down. And so if you'll pop that plate off, take those screws off, and just pop that plate off, move it to the side, you will notice, I'm going to zoom in, that I have some threads caught right there. You see that pink thread right up under my knife right there, and I see a little green thread down in there too. Okay, so I'm just gonna get those threads out of there. Let's see if I see any more. Sorry, I'm trying to hold my camera. Okay, that might be a thread also. Let's see, I believe it is. So this is your thread cutting knife right here. That's your thread cutting knife. And so when threads get caught up in there, sometimes your machine can give you a little problem. So I'm just gonna take my brush and clean that out. Looks like I've gotten any threads. I'm just gonna look around this way. Make sure I don't have any more under there. Blow those out. And once you do that, yeah, it looks pretty good now. Once you do that, let me come back around. I have some dust in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean that out. I have a makeup brush that I use for that. And so I'm just gonna kind of use my makeup brush, come around here, clean off a little bit more in there, and just clean around this little bobbin case, clean inside the bobbin case, make sure I have no more threads hanging around in there anywhere. Okay, so that's a very easy task. And then we're just gonna put this back on, this cover back on where it goes. All right, and then put these screws back where they go. I'll screw them in just a little bit. Be very careful with these screws. They're very small, so they would be very easy to lose. And then you take your little tool that came with your machine, this tool, and you use this end to tighten that screw. I'm gonna go ahead and get it as tight as I can get it by hand. And then once I've gotten it as tight as I can get it with my hand, then I'll use this to tighten it up, and then put my bobbin back in and go back to work. And it should be working better now. Another thing I want to mention, if you've tried everything else, is double check and make sure that when you threaded your machine, that your thread has gone through this little piece right here. Sometimes when I change my threads, it'll slip out of there, because what I normally do when I change my threads is I just tie off and pull through. And so sometimes when I do that, if the thread snaps back, then it won't, it'll come out of here. So right here where I'm pointing, this little loop right here, make sure that you have made sure that your thread has gone in there. And then, of course, then I clean out my bobbin. I may change the bobbin. There's several different things that I will do. And usually one of them works. So I hope this helps.